Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Altaria! Altaria on a relatively balanced team for the Great League. I wanted to give you guys a very solid team, just in case you want to rack up some wins, get an early start on the climb in Season 13 of Pokemon Go Battle League. Altaria is amazing. It really addresses the very common and abundant Medicham leads, which I kind of got tired of seeing. So we're running it on the lead and also on this team for some additional Medicham coverage, because they seem to be everywhere, is good old Azumarill on the safe swap. And now we landed on the Ice Beam Hydro Pump moveset. I've wrestled with what's the right moveset for this meta and ultimately landed on this one here. I tried some without Hydro Pump, and you guys are going to see why you absolutely need Hydro Pump. And also on this team, to round it out, good old Stunfisk in the back. Stunfisk provides very solid coverage for the flyers like Noctowl, and although it does not have the best fast move to go up against flyers, it is quite spammy and can get to those super effective rock slides really fast. But before we get into the featured set of the video, we're going to start things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons of fun. And here we go. Sableye lead. This is not bad at all, really, for Altaria. The Dragon Breath damage with Stab is just really oppressive on a Pokemon like Sableye. Gonna let this go. We are about as tanky as it gets. We tank that all day. No problem from the Sableye. And they tried to catch a move onto a Walrein. I think that they were hoping to catch a Sky Attack, but for their troubles, they're going to catch a Moonblast. We wanted to chip this thing into just about Rock Slide range on the Walrein as we make a play into our G-Fisk. And speaking of Rock Slide, going for Rock Slide number 1, and we grab a shield. That is amazing. And now at this point, guys, I played Walrein enough to know that they love the bait, and we're calling this. That could have absolutely been an Earthquake. But we decided to call it, and it absolutely paid off. Gonna go for Rock Slide number 2. Put the pressure on the Walrein. We now have a 2 shield advantage, and at this point, they can take us out with an EQ. We're gonna let it go and call it yet again, and it's just another Icicle Spear. They doubled down on the baits, and it did not pay off for them. They're forced to dump all of their energy, and that is fine. We have the 2 shield advantage. Gonna bring Azumarill in here to farm down with resisted bubbles. If you can position yourself to farm something down with resisted damage, especially on a Pokemon like Azu, we shield up that EQ. We want to preserve the health. That can be quite beneficial, loading up on energy like this. They are not healthy enough to make it to another EQ. This is just an Icicle Spear. We tank that, of course. No problem. Does very little damage. And oh, looky what we have here, my friends. This is why Hydro Pump is a must. We take that thing out just about with a Hydro Pump, and they promptly concede the match. My goodness, Azumarill coming in clutch in the end. Good game, well played. Yeah, guys, I'm pretty decided on it. Hydro Pump is a must for sure, for reasons like what we just saw. But here we go. This is why I decided to run this team. So many people are leading with Medicham. It is quite astounding to see. You have to play out the 2 shield if you really want to take out this Medicham, because 1 Ice Punch doesn't KO, but the counters, the resisted counters with Stab, absolutely add up, and before you know it, you're in a bad spot with that Medicham. But they aggro swap into a large tanky spider known as Araquanid. We've got 3 amazing answers to this thing. It really has nowhere to go with this team, but we decided to stay in. Because we've got Azumarill for the Medicham. Everything that they could possibly throw is obviously quite resisted by Altaria. We did throw 1 Sky Attack, and now from here on out, they can debuff us in the Oblivion all they want. We're just going to farm this thing down. They're just giving us, well, at this point, we're capped. I was going to say they're just giving us more farm, but we were capped. And they've got a Basti, so going to go right into G-Fisk to draw back out that Medicham. And here it is, right on cue. We have the energy lead, so we're going for this big EQ. They should probably shield this, but they don't. Oh my goodness, that does big damage on the Medicham. They were really wanting to hold on to those shields for whatever reason, and my goodness, it didn't pay off. We shield that Ice Punch because what we want to do now, the play here now is knowing that all they have left is this Basti, is to get those 2 shields. We're not overly concerned with taking out the Bastiodon with G-Fisk. We just want to pressure those shields with the threat of the EQ. They're going to go for a Flamethrower here. It does not KO, and they cannot farm down before we make it to another EQ. This is what we wanted. We wanted to grab that final shield from the Basti, which will set up our Azumarill with Hydro Pump to close the game strong. This is, again, why Hydro Pump is a must. As they saw the writing on the wall, it was just about over. They concede. Good game, well played. Hydro Pump on Azumarill, sealing the deal yet again, but you guys will see. I did a couple of battles without it, and you'll see why I'm a firm believer in it. But here we go, Ariados on the lead. That's a very positive lead for us. They make a play into Noctowl. Now, I made the mistake of going into G-Fisk on the Noctowl safe swap in one match, and I quickly learned that Azu is the proper alignment on this team. Especially if you run the Ice Beam moveset. It just gives you a very solid, comfortable matchup against a Noctowl. We did chip it first just to ensure that we could take this thing out. I went into G-Fisk against a Noctowl safe swap, and it wasn't very fun, especially if they hit the breakpoint to where they can do 1 additional damage with their wing attacks. They can flip that in the 1 shield, but we do take it out. They let that go, and they're going to come in with a Trevenant, and again, yeah, I think Ice Beam is the way to go. Too many flyers, too many Trevenants to counter the Medichams. I think you kind of really need Ice Beam in this meta, and we're going for it, and we're grabbing a shield. Looks like at this point they're going to go for the full aggressive farm down, and that is fine. We, of course, are going to come back in with Altaria. Now seeing the full team, G-Fisk thoroughly shuts down that Ariados pretty easily. We're going to take the first Shadow Ball, and they are absolutely loaded. This could definitely be a second Shadow Ball. And again, knowing that they have an Ariados remaining, we can safely 2-shield farm down this Trevenant and clean this matchup pretty easily here, guys. This is all quite fundamental. I feel a little sad for them. They do not know what we have lurking in the back. We're farming that Trevenant all the way down. Gonna pressure that final shield with a Sky Attack here. And, yeah, I do feel quite bad for this Ariados trainer here. We reveal the Stunfisk, fully expecting an instant top left, but they're hanging in here, fighting a good fight. So we're going to go throw this Rock Slide. We're not looking to to draw this thing out at all. They're going to throw a move. My goodness, they are fighting a good fight. Good on them, but it is impossible. Literally impossible. They're going to throw one more move here, and it's going to do no damage. It's all resisted. Anytime you want to top left, my friend, you go for it, and they finally wave that white flag and top left. Good game, well played to them. My goodness, looking at some of our opponents' teams, it looks like they're quite tired of seeing Medicham leads as well. But here we go. Almost said Shadow Vic. That was not a Shadow. That was a non-Shadow Victreebel. You don't often see those. As they make a play into a Swampert. Guys, they must be extremely weak to an Altaria. This is absolutely 100% not an answer to an Altaria. But what we're going to do is chip this thing, grab a shield there, and make a play into Azumarill here. The Dragon Breath fast move pressure basically put this thing within range of any one of our charge moves. Going to shield this up. We kind of want to maintain alignment here. We definitely want the Altaria on that Victreebel here. Going to just full send this massive Hydro Pump. I don't imagine they expend that final shield. And they don't. Of course, they got to hang on to a shield for the Victreebel. And I do imagine they fully farm us down with these Razor Leaves. And they can farm us down all they want. They can load up on all the energy they want, guys. Even for a Pokemon like Victreebel, it will not be enough to do anything to Altaria. I'm fully expecting them to give us switch advantage yet again here, and they do into a G-Fisk, and we've got the shield advantage, which means that it is lights out for them, unfortunately. Oh, you love to see Victreebel leads when you run Altaria. Good game, well played to our opponent. And those bonus battles were so much fun, but we now move into the featured set of the video. And my goodness, we've got a brave soul here running the nerfed Nidoqueen. My goodness. Can we all just have a moment of silence for Nidoqueen? Holy smokes, guys, is this thing couldn't be more irrelevant now. My goodness, I feel sad for it, but we're going to we tanked the first Poison Fang, and we're going to throw the Sky Attack to either pressure a shield or take it out and catch the next Poison Fang onto our G-Fisk. Triple resisted Poison Fang, I must say at that. Hanging on to our shield advantage, they meet us with a Shadow Kanto Ninetales. And they are running Fire Spin, and we kind of want to either take this thing out or pressure that final shield. We're actually going to shield and bait with a Rock Slide here. This is a Shadow. It wouldn't KO, but it would be doing quite a bit of super effective damage, and we now have a 1 shield advantage. We do have loaded energy, but not gonna give up our final shield. What we're gonna do now is just come in with our Azumarill, and this was the first set of the day with this team. And as you can see, guys, we're not running Hydro Pump. I figured let's try this moveset because I know that Play Rough, you kind of need that for the mirror matchup, but I haven't been seeing too many Azumarills in the meta, so we did CMP tie there, so I no bubbled that to get more farm on this Kanto Ninetales here. They're just going for these resisted weather balls. We tank those all day, no problem. And we will now see what they have. They've got an Abomasnow, so one of the few scenarios where Play Rough came in handy. Of course, Ice Beam also hits this thing for neutral damage as well, and quite a bit at that. Guys, did you see them? They were throwing or tapping their phone in a weird way. They were pausing between Powder Snows to see if we would throw. We held on to our energy. We picked up on that, held on to that energy. We shield this. We've got the Sky Attack locked and loaded for this Abomasnow, which means that we are saying bye-bye to the Abomasnow, closing it strong with Altaria. This team, quite balanced, quite powerful. If you're looking to get some wins, good game, well played to our opponent. Oh, first time trying Altaria in the new meta, and it is still putting in the work, even in this new meta. But here we go, positive lead in Trevenant, and like I said, this was the first set of the day with this team. This was the battle I was referring to where we made the mistake of coming in with G-Fisk. I'm just trained to see the typings in the top. I saw flying and automatically went into G-Fisk, but I learned thoroughly from this mistake here that whenever I see that normal flying typing, that means it's Azumarill time. Because you're going to see Noctowl can pressure shields from G-Fisk. That is insane, guys. That's the power of Noctowl in this new meta. Going to go for another Rock Slide here. We need 3 to KO generally, but actually what we're going to do here is actually go for an aggressive farm down, fully expecting them to shield this. And they do, trying to flip this here, but we definitely tank another Shadow Ball. And these double resisted mud shots are actually seeming to do the trick. So we're going to try for this farm down, but they make a play back into that Trevenant, locking themselves in. So we're going to chip this thing with a Rock Slide here. And now it is Altaria time yet again. They are going to reach a Shadow Ball, but we tank that all day. Just going to let this go. We don't know what they have. Could have been a bait, but no, it was that Shadow Ball. And now we are safe to fully farm this thing all the way down. Our Altaria is quite low. We don't know what else they have. We don't know what their third is. We saw that Noctowl. And oh, it's a Bastiodon. And it's a good thing we let that Shadow Ball go because it's going to give this Bastiodon less farm. At this point, we're just throwing this resisted damage just to burn the clock, guys. And I'm kind of sweating bullets because we're not running Hydro Pump. And this is exactly why I am a firm believer in running Hydro Pump in this meta. Those of you who tune into the channel regularly know that I preach and preach. You gotta have Hydro Pump. You gotta have Hydro Pump. But I broke my own rule with Azumarill. And You guys can probably see from a mile away. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay dearly for breaking my rule, expecting a catch. We don't throw, and we're just trying to find a win con here, and I don't think that there is one that exists. This is quite miserable here. We have to let this go because they will reach another potential Stone Edge, and we're not applying enough pressure. We threw that play rough. I think they're firmly reading that we don't have Hydro Pump, and they're taking full advantage of it. Gonna bait here, like I said, trying to find the win condition. It's not gonna happen. They're farming us down, and we're leaving this matchup very sad because we did not have Hydro Pump. Good game, well played to our opponent. That last one definitely could have been a win. That was a hard pill to swallow, and we promptly put Hydro Pump back onto Azure. But here we go, positive lead in the form of Talonflame. You'd love to see it. Altaria lead as strong as it's ever been. I kind of had a feeling they were going to Brave Bird and dip, which is why we wanted to play to the CMP tie and put the pressure and make them pay for going for such a risky move with shields are up. We are now even on shields, and they are forced to give up swap into a Driplim. You don't see these too often. Holy smokes. A little bit spicy, I might go so far as to say. So we're here on this Drifblim with our G-Fisk. They do get off an icy wind. They debuff our attack, but it is fine, guys. Going for this rock slide, and we force the final shield. Very interesting to see. Was not expecting them to shield that. They didn't really have to, but they likely want to debuff us again before having to tank super effective damage, which is understandable. It's coming their way. The shields are down. They have no more shields, and we're going for this rock slide here. It does not KO. We've been debuffed by 2 stages at this point, and gonna go for another rock slide here. I think with the debuffs, it still does not quite KO. And it does not, and we're going to let this go. They can take us out. They're going to play to the CMP tie, take us out. That is fine. Going to let it go, and I believe we come in, with Azu to soak the damage. They were farming up for days. They blind throw. I was reading that they would blind throw that. We catch that onto Azumarill. They come in with Talonflame. We aggro swap back into Altaria, and again, it is very tempting to throw that big, satisfying Brave Bird if you land it, but no, not letting that happen. You're not doing loads of damage on us. We're farming you down, and now we're going to see they've got a G-Fisk. Okay. Hey, shields are down, and our Azu has Hydro Pump, which means that we've got a very good chance of winning this one here, guys. Gonna throw this Moonblast, fishing for a debuff. No such luck. That's fine. Gonna throw this rock slide here. We tank this pretty comfortably. That's the power of Altaria, quite bulky, and they cannot farm down. Gonna just chip this thing with a resisted sky attack. And after this, chips quite a bit. It's Azumarill time, and this is basically within Ice Beam range. We had the Hydro Pump if we needed it, but not gonna need it here. Altaria put in the work on this thing, and we pause right there, guys. If you're running a 3-turn move and you know you want to get off your move, you got to pause if you know that a catch is in play, and that's what we did. We paused, waited for them to throw to get off that damage and seal the deal. Azumarill coming in clutch in the end. Good game, well played to our opponent. Yeah, I'd say this team is definitely good for a win or two in this Great League meta, guys. But here we go. Shadow Hitmonchan. My goodness. It's kind of spicy, but this thing has access to elemental punches, most notably Ice Punch, which hits us for super effective. This thing hits like a truck, and it's a Shadow. We're shielding this for sure. Kind of going to play this like we would a Medicham lead and play out the 2 shield if necessary. We don't want to risk this thing finding its way to our G-Fisk, and they absolutely shield that, wanting to get off another massively super effective Ice Punch, not letting that happen. Our team's pretty bulky. We're comfortable 2 shielding this and farming down. We leave this matchup relatively healthy and expecting a hard counter to our Altaria. There it is. It's a G-Fisk. We're trying to switch. It's not letting... You couldn't see us tapping, but we were vigorously tapping our Azumarill. But the game seized up, wouldn't let us come in when we wanted to. But here we are. We finally got this Azu in here, and we forced them to swap into a Noctowl. Again, why I think Ice Beam is quite nice in this meta. With the Noctowls and Pelipper's running rampant, it's quite nice. You get to it faster than you would a Play Rough, and having that coverage of Hydro Pump, I think that's the most effective moveset right now in this meta. For reasons like that, we're taking out the Noctowl. They're gonna put all the hope and faith into this G-Fisk to hopefully bring it home for them. Let's see if they can. My goodness, shields are down, guys. This is getting a little sweaty, I must say. We're going to try and get to this. Probably should have just thrown the Ice Beam. We should have read that they would play to the CMP, but we got a little greedy, and we go down with energy. My goodness, it's getting sweaty. We got to come in with G-Fisk here. We got to try our best to get that final shield. They're getting close to an EQ. Got to make a catch, and we do. Holy smokes. Oh, is there anything more satisfying than catching an EQ on a flyer? I don't know, guys. Let me know. We make that play, and my goodness, I think that sealed the deal here. Gonna go for this Sky Attack here and try and chip this thing with our Dragon Breaths and Sky Attacks. We accomplished what we wanted. We left that without having to tank an EQ on our G-Fisk. They're forced to throw to get rid of us. They're getting low. They know that. But the reason why I said we accomplished what we wanted was because we wanted to get this within Rock Slide range. That's the safest play. It's basically there between the mud shots. It's absolutely within Rock Slide range. My goodness, we had to make that play. We're saying bye-bye, and holy smokes, what a battle. Oh, man. Had to pull out all the stops for that one. We got it done in the end. Good game. Well played to our opponent. Oh, making that catch made my day. Holy smokes. But here we go. Medicham lead. We stay in. We stay in and we play out the 2-shield. The reason why is because 9 out of 10 Medicham leads will absolutely have a Noctowl for sure and a Lantern. We don't want to risk Lantern finding its way to our Azumarill, and we know that if we play out the 2-shield, it's fine. We will be left standing here, or flying, I must say, with Altaria. So that's what we're doing. We're going to shield up their Ice Punches and go to work with our Dragon Breaths here and hopefully pressure some shields with the threat of the Sky Attack. It really looks like they're fighting us hard. I was thinking for sure that it was that Medicham Lantern Noctowl team. Very common and powerful team that we see quite a bit of. And we know that we tank an Ice Punch from this range. It's going to be rough for them to take us out with the counters. We know that, so we're just going to stay right here. And oh, it's not the team that we were thinking. But Altaria put in the work. We've got a Sky Attack. Might as well throw it. We're just about done. That does big damage on the Sableye, and now it's Azumarill time. And this is not a purified Sableye, which I didn't notice. I just automatically think purified Sableye. It's not, which means that the Azumarill matchup is quite a bit worse for them, unfortunately. I think, guys, if you want to run Sableye, you got to go with a purified Sableye if you can. I'm not sure it's worth it. And we do take that out with an Ice Beam. That is all we needed to seal the deal there. And they got a Drapion in the back. Very interesting. Again, we got greedy. We should have just thrown the Ice Beam. This is only a crunch. It's resisted. But, yeah, they're going to try and catch, force us to throw. And the Medicham kind of want to get rid of this. So we do throw it. We know that they have Drapion. We know that we have G-Fisk. So we were fine dumping that energy. We show them G-Fisk, and they promptly top left. It was lights out for them. So, yeah, we didn't get to see us go up against that Medicham team, but it still paid off in the end. Good game, well played to our opponent, and that is the team, my friends. I just wanted to give you guys a super solid team to help you get that much further ahead in the early stages of Go Battle League Season 13 here. This is a very solid team, relatively balanced. Generally, I would run it with the G-Fisk on the lead, sort of play it in sort of an ABB style with the 2 anti-fighters in the back, but I'm just seeing way too many Medicham leads. It's insane. It's generally that Medicham, Lantern, Noctowl team, and this team can do quite well against it. Having Stunfisk in the back, pushing it to the back, you can do quite well against Medicham in the lead. You do have to play out the 2 shield, but that sacrifice of shields will absolutely pay off if you can take out the Medicham, because Azumarill with Ice Beam and G-Fisk thoroughly handles the most common backline, which would be Lantern and Noctowl. So yeah, this is a very solid team, definitely worth giving a shot. Guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching. And keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.